Prior to coming to Hanoi, I was warned by some friends. If you want to cross the street in Hanoi, follow one of the old ladies walking through the traffic. They know how to get across safely. Once we arrived, the reason for this advice became clear. During most daylight hours, the streets of Hanoi could be mistaken for rivers of motorcycles streaming around slower-moving cars.
Since Vietnam went through Doi Moi, or national reforms to liberalize its formerly closed economy, Hanoi's economy has grown at a rate of over 11% a year. In tandem with those changes, the population has also been growing at a rate of nearly 2.9% per year. With a population of over 3.1 million, the city is smaller than São Paulo, but its population density and urban infrastructure in the center of the city in key districts like the Old Quarter is immensely heavy, which contributes to severe congestion on roads during peak traffic hours.
The level of vehicle ownership also contributes to the congestion issues which plague the city. In 2005, there were 164,000 cars and 1.74 million motorcycles in the city. 84% of households owned a motorcycle, and of those families, 40% owned more than one. Though only 1.6% of the population owns a car, that number is growing rapidly and still contributes to congestion on the roads.
The public transportation system in Hanoi consists of a city-wide bus system, with many routes that traverse the city. Its staffing as well as payment systems are well implemented. Through a bureaucratic process, many Hanoi residents obtain monthly passes to use the busing system, and these passes grant access to all the routes within the city. Otherwise, one ride on any bus will cost 3,000 dong, or about 15 cents. Each bus also has a conductor on board who checks riders' passes or collects their fares.
Currently, the system only handles 7% of the population's transportation needs, primarily due to inconsistent routing. The routes for buses are clearly delineated in maps of the city as well as on the signs of each bus stop, where the numbers of the buses which stop there are indicated. Bus schedules are not published anywhere, so it is unclear what times the bus should usually arrive at any place. Further adding to the confusion, traffic congestion often slows the routes. So while one day you might wait 20 minutes to get a bus, the next day you could be waiting for 45 minutes.
In Hanoi, we have private transportation and also we have a bus system. So bus is the only public transportation we have in Hanoi. So for the most, I could say that according to statistics, the public transportation only serve for less than 25% of the needs, total need of the Hanoian. So 75% still they have to use their own personal transportation.
Go to the other side of the city, which is really far away. I think taking one bus is not enough. So maybe you need to make a few transitions. Maybe about 2 to 3 bus, and it may take you really long. And so first you got to the bus stop, and of course catch the right bus to the next stop, the right stop, where you can actually catch another bus number to the right place. And the process of waiting isn't scary, but the process of being on the bus itself is actually scary, because there are all different kinds of people, and sometimes it can get really complicated. Like you don't know why some of the people they are on the bus. Maybe because, not really because they want to travel, but they actually have like some bad intentions, like they may want to steal people's stuff. That's why the passengers sometimes they must be very careful with their belongings and stuff. Yes, and if you go to the bus with a big luggage, they will push you out. The bus luggage and space for you and bus luggage for 2 or 3 persons. That's very good. And when you see the bus you want to catch from 500 meters, you have to prepare to run. Yeah.
Besides its effect as a barrier to access for public transportation, traffic congestion was one of the biggest contributing factors to choices in private transportation as well. In the city, motorcycles were perceived as a faster, more nimble mode of transportation, which was more easily able to navigate the small streets of Hanoi, whereas for long distances, cars were considered sturdier, safer, and able to carry more people, such as an entire family.
Tell me about the transportation that you do on a daily basis. What do you use and how long do you travel to go about your day-to-day life?
I have a motorbike and a car. And because my house quite close to office, so I often travel from my house to the office by motorbike. That's private.
Okay, why do you use the motorbike and not the car to travel to your office?
Because my office is in the place that where I do parking. So that's why I use my motorbike. So the motorbike has a place for the motorbike, but not car.
So if you use your motorbike to travel to your office, when do you use the car?
So in the weekend, so when I took my family to visit my mother-in-law or to some like a picnic, so I use my car.
And why is the car better to use on the weekends? Like, why do you use the car and not the motorbike for those?
The motorbike only carries just one people, while the car can carry whole family. So that's the reason why.
Okay. But congestion alone is not the only deterrent to public transportation in Hanoi. Similar to São Paulo, we found that ownership of a private vehicle, especially a car, was a form of social capital. Can you talk a little bit about what brands are at each level?
We have every brand.
Okay, but which ones are easy to buy, which ones are hard to buy?
So I think that the easy to buy is a Korean car and Chinese car, but Vietnamese people don't like Chinese cars, so I think Korean car, Hyundai and Daewoo and Kia, those three popular Korean cars, and then Japanese car and then US car.
In addition, safety related to public transportation was also a concern, as it was for residents of São Paulo on the previous leg of our trip. However, the concerns Vietnamese people were not related to criminal conduct or danger for passengers on the buses. Though other transportation-related concerns exist, such as the inadequate education of drivers, currently, the government's priority in transportation policy is to reduce the traffic congestion in the city. Here in Hanoi, more so than in any of the other places we visited, public policy strategies are important to take into account because of the Communist Party which dominates the workings of this state, significantly influencing the development of Vietnam in every sector. The formally published strategies to reduce congestion include decentralizing the city by moving businesses, universities, and other institutions west of the city center, in order to reduce the density of people and traffic in the most highly congested districts, such as the Old Quarter, as well as the development of ring roads 1, 2, and 3, which will be built in concentric circles around the city in order to reduce traffic through its center. However, while these strategies have been formally published, there is little perception among citizens that reforms to the transportation system are a public priority.
Because Hanoi is small, but we have 10 million people. Small city, but a lot of people to dance. So the government needs to moving all the service out to the suburban, so let reduce the number of people living in that one area. A lot of things urban planning, so I'm not the expert, but I'm pretty sure that the government not doing well in the urban planning.
All in all, reducing Hanoi's congestion would have vast impacts on both public and private transportation alike, allowing all modes of transportation to be more efficient. Once the traffic congestion is resolved, as present policy strategies hope to accomplish, The public transportation system would also benefit from the establishment of a set schedule of times when buses will stop at different stops, as well as an adjustment in social attitudes which view private transportation as a symbol of status.